And it's going to be a junior taking the mound for Fountain Lake. Wesley Campbell is his name. Auburn-haired young man, number 22. And this is the way that Fountain Lake is going to line things up. Starting off on the mound will be Wesley Campbell. He is a junior. Behind the plate will be Hayden Cotton, a senior. Excuse me, at first base, a freshman, Colt Carden, will be starting things at first base. At second base, a junior, Evan East. At shortstop, a junior, Abe Rose. At third base will be actually a young man by the name of Bray. He's not in the batting lineup. In left field will be Garrett White, a junior. In center field will be a senior, Caden Hilton. And in right field is another senior, Preston Riley. Once again, leading things off for Arkadelphia here in the top of the first will be Tate Goodrum, the senior all-conference shortstop, followed up by Carter Babb, the junior center fielder, and Trip Campbell, who's leading the team in just about every offensive category as well as pitching categories. Trip has had a whale of a year and is going to get the bump today for the Badgers as they get things started. So just about ready to get things going here from Fountain Lake. Glad you're with us. Fountain Lake Cobras 13-3 on the overall this year, 7-1 in conference. Once again, taking on the perfect 9-0 Arkadelphia Badgers. This is it, folks. This is where the Badgers can separate themselves from between first and second by 2 games, 2 full games, or cut it to within half a game. Arkadelphia, like we said, is going to be at home on Friday night. They then will be home again on Monday as they face these same Cobras, and then on the road to finish out the conference season at Hope and at Mena. On the other hand, Fountain Lake Cobras and Coach Justin MacArthur are going to have a little tougher go of it. After this game, they'll be at Hope, then at home against Malvern, traveling to Arkadelphia, traveling to DeQueen, and then hosting Nashville to end the regular season. So Arkadelphia could really make a statement here with a big win over the second-place Cobras. Fountain Lake in their all-whites with the purple pinstripes. The purple outlined in gold numerals, small upper right on the front, large across the back. The purple hats with the FL across the front. Arkadelphia again in their blues, blue tops, gray bottoms, and the Luck of the Irish green Arkadelphia A hats. So the junior right-hander Campbell taking his warm-up pitches here. The coach is meeting with the 2 umpires. We're just about to get things ready to go here from Cobra Country. We'll try to keep you abreast of the Lady Badgers as they're doing work next door. The adjacent field here against the Lady Cobras. We'll try to keep you, if you have a score from the ladies. I don't know if I'll be able to see the scoreboard. It's a little sunny. The scoreboard is looking right into the sun. Maybe a little hard to make out the numbers. So if you've got some updates there and you're tuning in to Badger Baseball, we'd love for you to give us an update, and we'll share those with our audience today. While we're taking just a couple of minutes to wait on this game to get started, we want to thank some of our folks that are going to be helping us make Friday night's Night of Champions responsible. Tim Welch and Welch Funeral Home. We appreciate Tim. Tim is providing the tent for our courtesy tent for all of our participants that we welcome in. Remember, if you are a state champion from the city of Arkadelphia, we'd love for you to be there. Free entrance into the ball game for you. Courtesy tent as well. We want to recognize you, your event, and the year you participated and won that award, and hopefully might even have you a burger and something to eat along the way. So I want to thank Tim Welch and his staff for helping us make all of that happen. Also want to recognize our sponsors as we always do, and Southern Bancorp, obviously. I want to thank them, our neighborhood partner. Southwest Auto Collection, as always. Bats and Signs do a great job. Precious Memories Photographs. They do a great job with our team pictures and our senior banners every year. Allison Busher, thank you so much for all that you do for us, and we couldn't do it without our help. But now it's time for baseball, ladies and gentlemen. Let's get started here. We are ready to kick things off from Fountain Lake, and batting first to lead things off is Tate Goodrum for Arkadelphia. He takes ball one. Goodrum hitting .419 on the year, .534 on base percentage, and there's a strike. Quickly working is the right-hander, the junior Campbell, and he's quickly a 2-1 count. And I'll tell you what, this young man here, he may have some plans after the game. He's working at a tremendous pace here to get things going. And the 2-1 pitch hits Tate, so he's on base. Going to add to that on-base percentage that's already sky high for Goodrum, and so hit by a pitch to start things out, and that'll bring up Carter Babb. Babb, the junior left-hander, hitting .297 on the year. Here's the first pitch. It's a strike for Babb, and Babb's got 11 hits on the season, .469 on base percentage, and he fouls the second one back quickly in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes. So we've got things started at a lightning pace here. Wesley Campbell working tremendously fast. That could cause him some issue if he's going from the stretch, which he is now. He does come set. 2-1 pitch, foul back, and tell you what, you get in that box, you better be ready to hit, because this young man is coming after you. Campbell waits on deck. He's just hitting the snot out of the ball. And there's a swing and a miss by Babb, so he goes down swinging for the first out. And that brings up Campbell. Campbell hitting .477, .561 on base percentage, slugging .773. He's got a couple of home runs, 21 hits, and 19 RBIs. First pitch for a strike. Throw over quickly by Campbell is not in time to get Goodrum. He's at first. Campbell with a swing and a miss. There's a slider by Campbell. Got 2 Campbells on the mound today. Campbell comes set, quickly deals, and he strikes out Trip Campbell. So 2 strikeouts in the frame for Wesley Campbell, and that brings up JB, Jarrett Bell. Jarrett with 10 RBIs and 12 runs across on the year. We'll see if he can. There's an outside strike that is close, but called a strike. Campbell dealing quickly. Ground ball hit to the shortstop. It's bobbled. He has one play to first, and he's not even going to make the throw. So reaching on an error is Bell to keep the inning alive, and so JB putting the ball in play, and it's a good thing because keeps the ball alive. Rose bobbled it at shortstop and not able to come up with the play. So runners at first and second now, and Wynn Pentecost is the batter. Wynn with a big swing and a miss there. Pentecost hitting .325, .455 on base. Swing and a miss again, and Badger hitter is going to have to either get out of that box and take a second or get ready to rock and roll, because Wesley Campbell is not messing around. He is got one thing on his mind, and that's bringing it today. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Foul tip, just staying alive. Scoreboard showing a ball and 2 strikes. Either way, 2 on Wynn, and he stays alive. That one fouled right back here at us. He's still alive at a ball and 2 strikes. Donovan Witten waits on deck. There's a ball that's poked out into right field, and that's going to get down and may score a run. Rounding third, being waved in, and he's going to come in without a play, and that is an RBI single for Wynn Pentecost. So Arkadelphia gets thing going. Great at bat there for Wynn Pentecost. And here comes Witten with Bell at third base now. And with a chance to blow this thing open. Witten homered here last year. And so now with 2 outs and runners at the corners, Bell at third, Pentecost at first. First pitch foul back. Inside, way inside. That one, I've got a pretty good vantage point here, and if that was on the black, it was the black of the left shoulder of the umpire and not the plate. 0-2 now. There's an outside pitch. Much to the chagrin of the home patrons here, but way outside. A ball and 2 strikes now. Here's the pitch, swung on and missed, and so 3 Ks in the inning for pitcher Campbell, but the damage is done as Pentecost comes in and scores a run. So on a single RBI out to short right field, and the Badgers, after a half, are leading it 1-0 here in Fountain Lake. We're going to keep it right here as we go to the bottom of the first inning in Fountain Lake. We'll talk about some of the stats of our young pitcher Trip Campbell, as we're going to give you an idea of what, once again, the infield and the defensive lineup's going to look like for Arkadelphia. Just quite a year for Trip Campbell. We can't talk about him enough. We're glad to hear he got his first offer of the season, an offer from the Henderson State Reddies. So great to hear that for Trip. 27 innings pitched for Trip. This is the book on him. He's got 5 wins and 1 save in 6 appearances. So every time he's been on the bump, he's recorded either a save or a win. He's been hit 9 times. He's given up 8 runs, 4 of which are earned in 27 innings. He has 12 walks and 47 strikeouts in 27 innings. He's hit 3 batters, and he has a minuscule 1.037 ERA. So that's the book on Trip Campbell, and folks, it just doesn't get much better than that. And that's the reason he's on the bump today for Arkadelphia. This is a very big game, to say the least, and Badgers get it started off on the right foot with 1 in the top of the first. So Abro is going to lead things off for Fountain Lake. He's the junior shortstop. Caden Hilton will be on deck, and senior Hayden Cotton, the catcher, will be in the hole for the Cobras. Getting some last instruction, and out there to give his pitcher some encouragement is Zane Hill. Dirt only around the mound, the bases, and the plate. No, all grass. There's a strike right down the middle. No grass in the baselines here. Not sure as to the dimensions, but it is not a very big field. Wind is blowing out just a bit to left, so there could be an advantage for a right-handed hitter. Trip quickly ahead 0-2 to the shortstop Rose. And setting up outside is Hill. Here's the pitch. It's going to be hit just foul down the right foul line, out of the reach of Tucker Johnson. Tripp gives a thumbs up, makes sure that Ryan Harris is ready out there and right. And looking over the glove, he goes into the windup for the 0-2 pitch. And it is taken just a bit low for ball one. Tripp's not only has good numbers, but he's just really not been in trouble much. Only four, like I said, 4 earned runs in 27 innings work, and that's why the curveball freezes the right-handed hitting Rose, and that's the first out of the inning. A backwards K, and so Caden Hilton, the senior center fielder, a lot of seniors on this Fountain Lake team, part of the reason for much of their success this year, a lot of upperclassmen. And here's squares to bunt, and he doesn't get the ball, he doesn't get the bat back. And I don't know what he's arguing at. He not only did he not get the bat back, but he took 2 steps toward the pitcher with the bat extended, and so lost that argument pretty quickly. From the windup, also working quickly, is the other Campbell, and he's quickly ahead, 0-2. Hilton getting barked at a little bit from his coach out of the dugout to quit making excuses and get up there and hit. And there's just a little dribbler to Campbell. He spins and turns and makes the throw to first. And 1-3 is the put out for the second out of the inning. Hayden Cotton now, the senior catcher, will be third Cobra batter of the inning, and as many gone as retired as have come up. And Hilton still giving that, shaking his head at the umpire, not really sure what the dispute was there. There's a pitch that starts out, does not get enough of the plate, just missing on the outside. So first ball issued by Tripp Campbell today, and he's already 2 outs here in the first. Number 3 hitter, and there's a strike. So a ball and a strike now. Right-handed hitting Hayden Cotton, a senior catcher. He's been doing work for the Cobras for a long time versus the Badgers. There's a foul tip into the mitt for strike 2. You're all hooked up and ready. And so here is the 1-2 pitch. Popped out into short right field, heading over it, looking up into the sun and making the play right on the foul line is Ryan Harris. So 1-2-3 go the Cobras here in the bottom of the first. Arkadelphia, after 1, leads it 1-0 here from Fountain Lake. And I will say that we're going to keep it here for just maybe another inning. If this thing keeps going at the pace that we're going, we may be in home to watch your 7 o'clock favorite TV show, because this thing is booking, folks. These 2 pitchers come to do business. No monkeying around here. These guys are working at a jet's pace, both the Campbell boys, and you got the auburn-haired Campbell from righty from Fountain Lake, and the fair-haired locked lefty from Arkadelphia. Glad to be joined now by our good friend Matt Johnson. Hello, Matt. Hope you made the drive over well.
Yeah, I went the scenic route. Went through Mountain Pine this time, so nothing like Hot Springs traffic at 5 o'clock.
Well, I can certainly appreciate that. Came up a little early myself, got everything ready to roll, and hopefully all of our viewers out there and our listeners are hearing us loud and clear and seeing us on this beautiful day here from North Garland County. Working quickly again. And Ryan Harris, he's going to see the first pitches of the top of the second. He draws an outside ball for his first pitch and quickly working. Not even much of a wind up there, swing and a miss. I mean, this guy does everything quick. And here's the 1-1, swing and a miss. He's got a pitch that I guess you'd call it a slider. It starts out and just kind of disappears out over the plate. And Arkadelphia, if they're having some trouble, that's where it's at, is reaching that what starts out on the inside or middle of the plate and kind of just disappears over the outside edge, at least to the right-hand hitters. Did the same thing to Tripp. There's a pop-up that's going to hopefully get foul, and it does right behind us. So 2-2 now to Ryan. Juice hitting .368 and swing and a miss as Harris goes down swinging. 4 Ks already on the day for Wesley Campbell. Tucker Johnson, the all-conference senior first baseman for the Badgers, going to get his first look of the day. And you get in that box, you better be ready to go because this guy's coming, and he brings strike one to Tucker. And there's a strike that's way outside. That's just not even hittable. Maybe the umpire has somewhere to be after the game as well. And that was almost the same pitch, and Campbell decided, well, heck, if I get it once, I'll try it again, but he doesn't get it. So a ball and 2 strikes now to Johnson. Outside again, trying it. No fishing is Tucker, so 2-2 draws the count even. Arkadelphia's dugout starting to chirp a little bit. Count full now to Tucker. Quickly fouled back. Tucker batting .257, a .481 on base percentage though, so he gets on a lot. But not this time as he watches the third strike, and that was the pitch that we talked about was starting over the plate and disappearing. That one started inside and it got right over the heart.
Yeah, it's a tough one to take there. But I think, I mean, this is really the fastest that definitely the boys have seen in quite some time. I mean, once you get in that box, you better have that bat ready to swing.
Well, and that's the thing. I think the boys are not realizing they don't have to step into that box.
That's right.
They don't have to go at at that speed. This is the pitcher's speed. But once they get in the box, he's ready to go. 2 balls and a strike now to Zane Hill. Like I said earlier in the broadcast, the only underclassman on the field so far for Arkadelphia, and he started 2 years behind the plate. There's a ball that must have been a little bit low, standing right over, as you can see. So 3 balls and a strike now. And there's strike 2. Hill has yet to walk this season. The only Badger in the starting lineup without a walk, and he thought he had his first one there, but he's brought back for another go-around, but he gets it that time. So nice at bat there by Zane Hill. Back to the top we go. Hit by a pitch was the first runner of the game, and scoring a run was Tate Goodrum. That's just what he does, folks. He gets on base and scores runs. That's his M.O., and that's the reason he's in that one hole. Outside, and Campbell starting to get in his own way a little with his, maybe he's going to have to come set.
I don't know if the field guy's even paying attention to.
He's doing a good job coming set. He doesn't stay up. You know, he brings it set to the belt, and I've been watching him. He's yet to not to pause. He's quick. He swing and a miss, and I hope you're following along because, folks, it is at a rampant pace here. 2 down in the inning. Hill walked for the only base runner, and boy, that was hard to take. A little inside, maybe a little bit low. Full count. We'll see if he can get on for a second time, and he does not. Maybe just a tip. Either way, it is a strikeout and another one for Campbell, and it may be a pitcher's duel, Matt.
Well, and that's what the Arkadelphia batters are going to have to work to get him off his routine. That's going to have to be the key. I mean, right now, Wes Campbell's just kind of dictating what he wants to do on the mound. That's the thing with Tripp and his normal delivery. I mean, his hat falls off on every pitch. So, I mean, he has a pause nearly every one. So, I mean, it's something that the batters will have to adjust to now getting to their second time through the lineup.
Yeah, and this young man doesn't seem to have just, incredible stuff. I think more than anything, just like you said, he's getting Arkadelphia out of their ability to set in there, take a deep breath, and, I mean, that's something that Arkadelphia is going to have to fix. And, it's going to have to come from either coaching staff or somebody on the team say, hey, look, guys, we don't have to get in there and do this thing like this. Stay out of that box. I mean, the umpire will call you into the box when he wants you in there. Well, we'll see if he hits like he pitches, because if he does, he's going to be swinging like a wild man. He's going to start things off here after a 1-2-3 inning in the bottom of the first. Arkadelphia will see the 4, 5, 6 hitters up for Fountain Lake here in the bottom of the second. They'll start things off with Campbell. East is on deck, the second baseman, and Carden, the freshman first baseman, will be in the hole. And here's Campbell on Campbell. Nice pitch there by Tripp as he starts him out with a strike.
A really good break on that one.
Yeah. Just a hard pitch to hit. Here's the 0-1. Just high. So Campbell versus Campbell, the first go-round did not go in Arkadelphia's favor. We'll see if this one does. So far, so good. A ball and 2 strikes now as Tripp hits that outside corner. To the right-handed hitting, Wesley Campbell. Bottom of the second, nobody out, nobody on from Fountain Lake. There's a ball that is swung on and missed, dropped, but handled nicely on the throw down to first for a strikeout, throw out for out number 1. Campbell, the first out of the inning. Now we're going to see Evan East. He's a junior second baseman. Tall, lanky right-hander. With 1 out here in the bottom of the second. Badgers at regular depth. Once again, Ryan Harris and Tucker Johnson looking into the sun on that right side over there, as they do in 9 out of 10 ballparks we'll play in this year, including our own.
Yeah.
Just spoils of being on that right side this time of the year.
Yeah, all afternoon games will get you.
Tripp starting out quickly again, 0-2.
Seeing kind of not seeing the first part of the first inning, I should say, it makes you kind of wonder how this team lost to Malvern earlier in the year.
You are exactly right, and they do have to play Malvern again. There's a hot shot out into right center. That was going to get down for extra bases. Babb to the wall. He'll get it in, relaying in or all the way into second base, but not before East is in there with a sliding double. So the first extra base hit, actually the first base hit of the game for either team. No, I'm sorry, there was a base hit in the first. Arkadelphia, Pentecost did have a little blooper there in the first inning that scored the run. So that's the first base hit for the Cobras. And Colt Carden, the first baseman, up. Don't see a lot of don't see a lot of freshmen getting the start these days, but especially on a very upper-class, heavy Fountain Lake team. But this young man he's a good-looking right-hander. Looks like he might be a little over 6 foot and a bit of a football frame. Take strike 1. 1 out and a runner at second. There's a ground ball that's hit to third baseman. He's up with it quick. 5-3 the put out for out number 2, but advancing over to third base goes East. So with a tying run 90 feet away, that'll bring up the junior left fielder, Garrett White, his first at bat of the day. We'll see if Tripp can get Arkadelphia out of the inning. There's a shot out into right field. It's going to hang up just so Juice gets under it. He makes about 2 steps up and to his left, makes the put out. So there go the Cobras in the bottom of the second. No harm, no foul. So let's talk about the upcoming rest of this season, Matt.
We got a big night Friday night.
A very big night Friday night, and not just because it's Night of Champions. We want to certainly invite everyone out that's been a state champion in Arkadelphia. We're going to start things off with the 2013-14 back-to-back Arkadelphia baseball Badger state champions, and Brent Matros throwing out the first pitch. We're going to get things started off right, but a big game that night against the Nashville Scrappers, and we kind of ran them out of their own ballpark the first time we played, so you know they're coming in with some revenge on their mind.
Well, no doubt. I mean, that was a game that got out of hand late, very close through 4.5, and then the Badgers really tacked it on at the end, which was when they really started to run. You know, I think they got a lot of confidence in that. Anytime you can go to Nashville and get a win, I mean, it's big time. But then to have them come into your park, you know, it's a chance to show them kind of what we are right now, and that we're going to be a force in the conference.
And things don't get any easier than that, because the following Monday on no rest, this same Fountain Lake team is going to be right back in the park, and then following up things on the road at Hope and Mena, and anything can happen on the road, and no games can be taken lightly. So up for his second at bat of the game is Carter Babb. He struck out swinging his first time up, and this time he's going to take an 0-1 pitch he's just going to bobble back to the pitcher, and so the 1-3 put out is the first Arkadelphia out of the inning. Campbell now, a rare strikeout as he went down in the first inning. We'll see if he can get things going here in the top of the third, fouling the first pitch back, and you see what he's doing right there. He's going to step out of the box for just a second. I think he's going to take a minute. He's going to get some time. Of course, there's a foul ball. He gets back in the box pretty quick, and here comes the pitch. And the umpire calling Campbell, the Wesley Campbell that time, for not being ready. Did not give him the okay. And so
yeah, 57 plate appearances for Tripp, only 3 strikeouts all year. I think the Fountain Lake coach wants to know why he's allowing the batters to have a little time. But, I mean, oh, well, they don't want us chirping. That's it. Never mind.
So no balls and a strike, and may not be the first.
There's not a lot of love lost between these two boys. They played a lot of baseball against each other.
They have, and first time we see some frustration by the pitcher Campbell, and the hitter Campbell is going to take one to the base of the left center field fence. That's extra bases, and just like that, standing up, Arkadelphia with 1 out has a runner in scoring position. You knew that wasn't going to last long with Tripp Campbell.
No.
First of all, he's got some. He's figured it out.
Mm-hmm.
What we talked about in the last inning, he's figured it out. He kept out of the box a little bit. He even got to the chagrin of the clubhouse over there for Fountain Lake, and so now we'll see if JB, he reached on an error. There's nearly got him, and you can tell now that Wesley Campbell not only is firing at a record pace again, but now he's wanting to turn up the heat a little bit, a little frustrated. Now he grins because he didn't get the strike he got, or he did get the strike he didn't get last plate appearance.
He's very animated, no doubt.
He is. Maybe it's the red hair.
He could be. It could be.
Swing and a miss. He picked up the gas a little bit and blew it by JB. So JB now, even at 2 balls and strike, he's going to put that hand back there for time, but that doesn't work once you get in the box. This isn't U-Trip. Once you get in that box, it's up to the umpire. Oh, bad swing and a miss. That ball was way outside, and that's just another example of not taking time, not having time to get in there and have a second to think about it. So for the second strike of the inning, and Pentecost starts off with a swinging strike. He did stay in there long enough to drop one into right field in the first to score the only Badger run, and that ball's just outside. Any way you look at it, that ball is outside, 0-2. We'll see if he can. And he squibs one to the first baseman. He's going to bobble it and have time to get back over and make the play. So the one-out double by Campbell is erased here in top of the third, and got a meeting between the two coaches, and maybe a little jawing, maybe a little, not real sure what we got, but a little bit of, I don't know, a little bit of uneasiness maybe out of the Fountain Lake dugout, a little bit from their fans. Not sure if something's been said, but like you said, no love lost between these two teams. And hey, this is a dogfight, folks. This is not for the faint of heart. So,
well, and this starts in basketball too. I mean, not really in the football season, but during basketball, I mean, heck, they played 4 or 5 times during the basketball season. All were intense ball games, whether it was at their place or ours, or even in the tournament in Nashville. Whenever we played Fountain Lake, it was always emotions were high, and that's just the way it is. And it's exciting. It's exciting sports. I mean, you don't want to come in and it's all fun and games when you go somewhere and win 20-3. But you get into these intense games, that's what you're going to need for the playoffs. I mean, we've got the playoffs just around the corner. The Badgers have already clinched a spot in the regional, but, we got to, get ready for these type games. Because when you play some of the other conferences, especially the 8 that we're going to meet at the regional, you got to be ready for an ace pitcher that you got to beat and win one game in order to go to state.
Yeah, and, there's been some talk, is the 7-4A conference down this year? Well, maybe so. You certainly don't expect to see, the likes of Nashville at 5-5 in conference and having some struggles. And but it is what it is. Arkadelphia missed a COVID year just 2 years ago and graduated 12 seniors.
That's right.
So baseball is fair sometimes, and it's not fair other times. Yeah. It's just you go out there and you play them when you're supposed to. Andrew Bledsoe now, the junior DH, getting his first at bat, and he starts off with a couple of questionable pitches, but both are balls, so a 2-0 strike. Tripp wanting that same outside corner on those right-handed batters that the Wesley Campbell's getting, and he got that one. That one more along the meat of the plate, though. 2 balls and a strike now. No lefties so far in the batting lineup for Fountain Lake, and that is an advantage against a left-handed hitter, typically. More so in the, college and pros, but starting to see it a little better, even in high school, out of the lefty's hand for the right-handed hitters. Even count now, 2-2. Start things off for Tripp. Swing and a miss. Throw down just barely out of the mid of Hill. He throws down just in case. And a swinging strike is the third strikeout of the game so far for Tripp Campbell. Here's a lefty. The last one up is the right fielder, a senior, Preston Riley. And the only lefty for the Cobras is batting in the 9-hole. From the windup, Campbell catches the outside outer half against the left-handed hitting Riley. You know, the road a little more difficult for Fountain Lake on the way into the clubhouse at the end of the year. Oh, defensive swing all the way around, but nonetheless it's 0-2. They leave here today and have another game, have 2 more games this week at Hope and against Malvern here at home.
And the weather does not look promising. I mean,
No, it
more
does
rain
not.
coming in tomorrow night.
Which will affect their pitching, and that's that inside. What's been an outside pitch, that thing was in his pocket, but nonetheless he gets the call. So watching is Riley for the second strikeout of the inning and the second out for the Cobras and just their first time through the lineup. Bottom of the third, back up is Abe Rose. He struck out looking to start things off in the first, and he takes strike 1 here in the third.
Definitely chalk to chalk down there, Blake.
It is. There's a lot of liberal room between the inside and outside of the black to the chalk. 0-1. That one hits something in the box. Either way, it does not make it into fair territory. So 0-2 is the count on junior shortstop Rose. That hit him in the ankle. You could tell he's hobbling back, and I don't know why it wasn't called by the umpire. I heard it. I think you probably heard it. Everybody from here to Jessieville heard it, except for the home plate umpire. 0-2 is the count. 2 outs in the inning. Swing and a miss, just alive, stays Rose. Just getting a piece of it. Gorgeous afternoon here. 2 outs in the third. Bottom of the third, Arkadelphia clinging to a 1-0 lead here at Fountain Lake. Here's the 0-2 pitch. Low and away. Pitch to give. Coach Justin MacArthur over in the first base box. Most of the time you see your head coach is coaching third, but all fouled away. Staying alive is Rose here in the third. Witten Harris and Tucker Johnson up in the top of the fourth for the Badgers. Here's the 1-2. Got him looking. Another strikeout, the third of the inning. And starting to heat up is Trip Campbell. Well, I'd love to go to commercial break, but this is just too fun. And I'm afraid we wouldn't get 30 seconds in anyway, the way this thing's going, before we'd have to change. Going back to the Fountain Lake, finishing out the year, Hope and Malvern at Hope against Malvern, who they lost to at Malvern earlier in the year, to finish out this week. Once again, one of those could be pushed into that next week when they have to go to Arkadelphia on Monday. Then they have to go to DeQueen, and then they finish the year here against Nashville. So
where do you pitch Campbell again?
I don't know, but if you pitch on if you pitch on a Friday, you can pitch again on a Monday. Is that correct?
No, unless you go over the 85 or whatever, you can't. Yeah,
correct. So
it's the 4 days rest.
Not sure what kind of pitching. I visited with. I actually went down. His Campbell's number was not on. His name's not even on the roster that I pulled up before I got to the ball game. So I saw on the lineup card, Campbell was pitching, number 22. There's no 22. Well, there is a 22, but it's not a Campbell. So I went down and asked one of the parents, could you give me Mr. Campbell's first name? And she said, one of the moms there, I assume, there's a first pitch strike to Donovan Witten, said his first name's Wesley. I said, okay, appreciate it. I asked what class he was, and she said, why do you need to know? And I said, well, I'm doing Arkadelphia streaming, and I just kind of want to make some good talk. And strike 2, the swing. And she said, well, I happen to be his stepmom, and I just want to make sure that, there's an Amber Alert out and all that good stuff. We want to make sure that my son is taken care of. So, anyway, she said she didn't even think he was going to pitch because he'd been hurt. So doesn't look like he's hurting to me. 2 balls and 2 strikes to Donovan Witten to start things out here in the top of the 4th for Arkadelphia. Strikeout looking.
Well, you got to know at this point, this is your second time up. You got to know that what the strike zone is. The kids have got to be talking about it at the dugout. You got to get up there with the bat off your shoulder and ready to hit the ball. At least give it a swing.
Yeah, and you know, Witten, there's a softball on the field. Hard to miss, those big yellow softballs. You know, Witten can hit the ball a ton. He does strike out a lot, usually with power hitters. That goes with the territory. 2 strikeouts on the day, maybe you'll figure it out. Harris with an inside pitch for first ball. That one got up and sang him a little song at the kitchen.
I think as short as this field is, too, I think it gives the hitters a little bit more. Oh, my gosh.
All right, so we've got some chirping going on here out of the Fountain Lake dugout. Probably not going to end well. We're not going to repeat what was said. It's not worth repeating, but I feel like the home plate umpire is going to take care of business, as he looks like he is very well doing so. And so we're going to play baseball here, folks. And
golly.
Hopefully we won't have any of those outbursts anymore. But
well, that'll just make our crowd a little bit louder now.
And it is certainly doing that, as the Badger faithful going to come up, and there's the first fairly
I told you there was some basketball animosity around it, and that's when Juice stepped into the plate. That's when it happened.
Well, and not probably the. And there's a. Now we're going to have a. We're going to have a little bit of. Well, obviously, we have a couple of teams that just don't care for each other, and a couple of teams that don't look just alike, and sometimes that creates problems. 3 balls and a strike now to Juice. He struck out his first time up. We'll see if he can get aboard here in the 4th. There's a ball that's fouled out of play over the right side. You know, of everybody in the ballpark, I think it affected Ryan Harris the least.
Yes, absolutely.
He's doing his job, and that's exactly what he's here to do. Swing and a miss. So the umpire may get his money's worth. This may be a short game, but he's going to get his money's worth, because I don't think this is over. 2 strikeouts in the inning for Campbell, and he's working quick against Tucker again. Swing and a miss for Tuck. 2 down here in the 4th. Strike 2. And it'd be good we get out of here in a short amount of time. I'll take a 1-0 shutout. 0-2 pitch is high. Pitch on the outside of the plate again. It's just hard to hit, and it's going to be hard to hit if he keeps getting that. Arkadelphia just going to have to get up on the plate, and he's consistent with it.
I may have to mute my microphone next time.
It's consistently bad.
Yeah, there he goes.
Well, Fountain Lake apparently has lost a little bit of. The coaching staff needs to reel it in just a hair.
Used to be a little tact in this stuff. It was like, you didn't show out in front of the kids. You you pulled them to the side and you had a little conversation, you know, or if your fans were acting out, you called the crazy out and said, hey, you know, we don't do that here. But to walk out in the middle of the field in the middle of a game and holler, it's absolutely goofy. But
yeah, not really what.
This game's about the kids anyway.
Not really what communities need to be.
No.
Need to be arguing about, and you know, players are going to chirp, and you know, things are going to be said, and things that are inappropriate are going to be said, but you know, want to be addressed in your dugout.
Yeah.
Caden Hilton grounded out to the pitcher back in the first inning. He'll be the first batter up in the bottom of the fourth. Senior center fielder. Didn't like that bunt call, or that bunt that he didn't pull back. Here goes Trip Campbell, starting things out. Off the plate to the right-handed Hilton. Swing and a miss. Well, apparently we know who the assistant coach for Fountain Lake is. And I believe it may be the catcher's dad. That's kind of where a lot of it may have came from. 3 balls and a strike now. We get started here in the bottom of the fourth inning. Arkadelphia 1, Fountain Lake nothing from Fountain Lake. Arkadelphia trying to hang on to sole possession of first place. And swing and a miss. Campbell just blew it right by him. Campbell lives with the off-beat stuff for the most part. He's got that big lefty breaking ball, but he's been known to turn it up a notch too. Yeah, struck him out, and he's not going to like that either. And
I mean, it's both ways. I have no qualms with. I mean, he's calling it the same. It's chalk to chalk. Boys, you better get up there ready to swing the bat. You know.
That's exactly right. And he was actually standing on the chalk on the plate.
Yeah.
And which, you know, an umpire can call that you're out of the box if you get too far on that plate. Cotton flew out to Ryan Harris back in the first inning. Check swing foul ball over into the Arkadelphia dugout down the first base line. Ball and a strike. Cotton, senior third baseman, senior catcher. Strike 2 looking.
Such a nasty pitch.
That is. That's hard to hit, and that's a strike. I don't care what. I don't care who you're talking to or what you're talking about or where it's at. That's a meat house strike right there, right down the middle. Oh, tried to catch it. Nice job of trying to frame it there, but no can do. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. And out in the inning, nobody on. Not a lot of base runners. Arkadelphia had one in the first, and a leadoff hit by pitch and a bloop single in the first is the difference. Strike 3, man, at the got him looking for the second of the inning, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 strikeouts. They're mounting up now, and very quietly, Trip Campbell is taking care of business. High outside pitch. Wesley Campbell struck out swinging back in the second. So round 2 of Campbell versus Campbell. With Tripp on the mound. We'll see if he can duplicate back in the second. And there's a ball. Not sure where that missed. Maybe a high. There's a strike. That one falls right over the plate. Ball and 2 against the Fountain Lake hurler. Check swing. Did he go? The appeal down to first is I don't know if he was watching.
Yeah, the airplane that flew over.
I think he was watching those girls' softball game because he almost went completely around to his right shoulder, or his left shoulder, excuse me. And a walk. First walk allowed by Tripp Campbell. So round 2 goes to Wesley Campbell as he's on with a 2-out walk. Evan East, the only hit of the ball game, was a double back in the second inning. He got to third on a fielder's choice and was stuck there. There's one that's going to double him off. Doesn't matter. It's 2 outs to start, and that's the third. It's a blooper line shot over there to Tucker, and he could have got 4 out of that one.
Blake, we're starting the 5th inning.
And it is 5:51, folks. We had a 3-hour and 20-minute game last time out, and we are 50 minutes into a game that is over halfway through.
Paid $6 to get in this place, you know.
I got here early enough where they weren't set up.
Yeah,
But
they do that goofy app crap where you got to pay the extra fee and everything else.
I'm telling you.
I don't want to get on a tangent here. I'll get kicked off the AAA stream. But anyway.
So 3 unassisted go the Cobras here in the bottom of the 4th and top of the 5th inning. Can you believe it?
Kudos to both pitchers. I mean, they've used what's been called behind the plate to their advantage. A lot of batters have been up there looking on both sides. The bottom of the Badger order has not looked good so far. So you're back. You're at the last batter here, then you're at the top of the lineup. So it's time to get a little action on the base pass and get you some insurance runs up on the scoreboard.
Hill, Goodrum, and Babb will be up for Arkadelphia. Zane drew his first walk of the season, his first time up, back in the 2nd inning, and there's strike 1 from Wesley Campbell. There's one that he whips around past his catcher for get back to the screen. Hill hitting .405 on the year, .432 on base percentage. He got 17 hits, 9 RBIs, 11 runs. He's got 1 walk, 13 strikeouts, and 5 stolen bases. Ball and 2 strikes now to the Arkadelphia catcher. And he watches strike 3. So ,11 strikeouts for Wesley Campbell, and this is already becoming a hitter's nightmare. High for ball 1 to Goodrum. Goodrum's been on once out of 2 times up. Struck out in the 2nd, hit by a pitch in the 1st. He's officially 0 for 1. There's a blooper out into
that'll work.
short left center field that falls into no man's land. Shortstop backing out. Left and center converging, and nobody's able to get there. So that's going to be a Texas League hit for Tate Goodrum. And that's just what he does. He just gets on base. A strikeout and a ground out for Babb on the year, or excuse me, on the day. He'll bat with an out here in the top of the fifth and a runner on, and that's Tate Goodrum at first. Arkadelphia clinging to a 1-0 lead here, top of the fifth at Fountain Lake. There is looked like a bunt that popped up. The catcher had it fall out of his glove, and it's going to be an error on the catcher. And down to first base goes Babb, and trying to get an explanation is Wesley Campbell. He didn't care for it, whatever it was from the field umpire, but no. And we got to remember now there's runners on here, field ump. He's got to come set. That was awfully close. Wow. I think the umpires this might be a little fast for even the home plate umpire. He's not exactly on his A game here. Swing and a miss, and Campbell goes down. He doesn't like it. So now 2 outs and JB's up. He reached on an error back in the first. Struck out in the third. Got a runner at first and second now, and a high inside pitch for ball 1. JB just got himself over 200 on the year. He's had a tough one. Strike 2. Got to get up on that plate. The ball that's scorched foul down the right side, out of play. It'll get over to the ladies softball field most likely. Maybe we can get a score from over there. That sun blaring right at the scoreboard. It's hard to see from our vantage point. There's a ball that just disappeared enough out into that other batter's box that it was not a strike. There's a bounding ball at the second baseman. Should be an easy play. He ranges to his left and makes the play. 2 Arkadelphia runners now left on base in the inning, and JB goes down 4-3 to end the little bit longer than normal top of the fifth. We go to the bottom of the fifth. And if you like speed, ladies and gentlemen, you got it here today. We're going to be in time for the early buffet, wherever you're wanting to go. We've been doing business for 58 minutes, and we are in the bottom of the fifth out of 7 innings here in Fountain Lake. Record pace, Arkadelphia hanging on to a 1-0 lead. K's all over the board for both pitchers.
Yeah, Campbell, just to give you a rundown, 5 innings so far. 1 run, of course, it wasn't earned. According to the stat sheet in our dugout, 5 innings. He's thrown 94 pitches, though. 64 strikes.
He's thrown 94 pitches in about 20 minutes.
And 12 strikeouts for Wes Campbell. And Triple start this inning with 53 pitches. 7 strikeouts, only 1 walk, 1 hit allowed.
Carden grounded out to the third baseman back in the second inning. He'll lead things off.
We have a lineup change or something in the lineup.
Carden's got the bat in his hand, so apparently it's not him. He's due up to lead things off here in the bottom of the fifth. We'll see if there's a change in the lineup. See the on-deck batter's number. It's number 13, and that is Garrett White. He is the left fielder. He is due up second in the inning, and then Bledsoe, the DH, that could be the issue. He's due up third in the inning. Carden leading things off here. Bottom of the fifth. Campbell going all the way for Arkadelphia. Campbell going all the way for Fountain Lake. K's all over the board, but only one run on the board, and that belongs to the Badgers. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Swung on and missed inside. Gorgeous pitch there. Campbell coming in on the right-handed hitter, and he fisted him. Nothing he could do with that. He comes up empty. Arkadelphia in the infield, only Pentecost even with the bag at third. Everyone else back the infield in normal depth. Babb a little deep, but this is a smaller ballpark. Wind blowing out just a hair to left, but not much. Pretty dead air here on a 68-degree day from Hot Springs. 1-2 pitch and appeal down to first. He did not go on a partial check swing. Agree with that. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Fans seem to have calmed down a little bit after an inning or so of a little bit of excitement. 2 balls, 2 strikes now to the Fountain Lake first baseman. Again, a freshman. Only freshman seeing action so far for either team. Swing and a miss. There he goes. Another strikeout for Campbell. That's 8 on the day for Tripp. Garrett White, his second time up, the left fielder, junior. He flew out to juice his first time up, back in the second. Swing and a miss. Well, Matt, is it going to be the luck of the Irish?
We just can't get rid of them green hats, and I'm all for it now. I mean,
well,
at the
it's
point
starting
now
to grow on me a little now.
They've gone for so long.
At least they're not orange.
That would be unacceptable.
Boy, a pretty whimsical swing there by Garrett White, and it's second strike of the at-bat, and kind of gave up on that one. Nice pitch by Tripp. Here's the 0-2. Pitch to Burn, and he really doesn't care. He come in. That one might have or might not have been a strike in another day and time. Ball 1. There's strike 3. The ball gets down, and 2 down in the inning now as another strikeout. Bledsoe, the designated hitter, will be seeing his second at-bat of the day. Struck out swinging in the third. And he gets another at-bat here in the 5th. Swing and a miss. Tripp still dealing. Well, you've got a Tuesday game today for Arkadelphia. You've got Wednesday, Thursday rest. If for some chance Tripp was to fall off in the last 2 innings, you've got Donovan Witten waiting, and he would most likely be your starter on Friday night against the Scrappers at home, even after he could come in and maybe put in an inning or 2 of work here today. But Tripp seems to be going strong at this point, and they're strike 3, and that's just nasty. I tell you what, we've talked about the liberal strike zone. That was not liberal. That was just nastiness, filthy nasty. Strike 3, struck out the inning for the second time in 5 innings. He struck out the side, and I tell you, it's become quite quite a close one here.
Yeah, it really is. I mean, I said it every half inning, I guess. I mean, you've got to get base runners on. We had a threat last inning with 2 runners on, but we got to get them over to third. The small ball play worked by the bunt by Carter. You know, you make the defense have to make a play, and they couldn't, but we just couldn't get the runners over and in. So
Pentecost has hit back to the first base, or excuse me, to the pitcher. That was an unassisted back to the pitcher, and the last time up, that was back in the third, but he did drive in that RBI in the first inning, and the first hit of the ball game was the RBI, and it looks like we've got a new pitcher, and that is going to close the book on Campbell. This is Preston Riley. He's going to be moving over from right field, so he'll go in to the mound. We'll see who is going to be out in right, and see if I see and I do see the auburn locks of Mr. Campbell over at third base now. So Wesley Campbell going to move to third base. And we may, not sure who we've got out in right field. A little too far to see. Maybe we'll see when he comes up to the plate.
I just got a softball update here, Blake. It looks like Arkadelphia at the top of the fourth. The Lady Badgers on top 8-4 in the top of the fourth. Thank you to Coach Jenny Kuhn for that update.
All right, so left-hander now. Senior Preston Riley started the game in right field. Now going to come in, a little different look. We'll see if he flies through the motion as Campbell did. Arkadelphia going to get at least a different look with the left-hander. And we'll see how things go. Only RBI of the day for either team is from this young man right here, Win Pentecost, and he takes first pitch outside and high. Ball 1 here, top of the 6th. Outside, ball 2, and if nothing else, we may be able to go a little deeper into counts, if nothing else. There's a pop-up on the infield. It may be trouble. The first baseman going back, he doesn't see it. Second baseman does come over, ranging to his left, and makes the play down on one knee. And Pentecost is upset with himself. He knew he got under that one and wasn't really the pitch he wanted, so first out of the inning is fly out to the second baseman. Witten had a tough day. He struck out swinging and looking. He takes ball 1 low and outside. Witten hitting .333, .588 on base percentage. Very nice on base percentage. He's got 17 walks on the year. Does get on base a lot. There's a nubber down foul down the right side. And we'll go down there and rest in the narrow foul territory here in North Garland County. Not a lot of room over there. We're used to seeing those big foul territory. Arkadelphia, kind of a medium size, but then you go to Nashville or DeQueen and they look like landing strips. There's a ball that's low. 3 balls and 2 strikes now. Donovan draws the count full. With 1 out, here's the 3-2. And it's chopped down on the left side. Barehanding it as Wesley comes up, not in time. Getting down the line is QB1, showing that speed. And the Badgers have a 1-out single as Wesley Campbell not able to come up with it. He barehanded at third, made as good a throw as he could, off balance, but the speedy Witten is able to beat it out for a single here in the 6th. Harris, the victim of 2 swinging strikeouts. We'll see if he can get the Badgers an insurance run here in the top of the 6th. Outside pitch missed on by Riley. Being held on over at first base is Witten. He gets lead right at the edge of the dirt. There's a ball that's poked out and fouled down the right side. Harris trying to go opposite field with it. Not a bad idea. Count even now at a ball and a strike. Juice held up nicely on that. Ball gets up just a little bit out of the zone, and it's 2-1 for Harris. Held on by Carden at first is Witten. He's on with a 1-out infield single. Here in the top of the 6th, 1-0 Arkadelphia. Exactly what we anticipated here from Fountain Lake. Johnson waits on deck. Outside of a double play, he will see an at-bat here in the 6th. 2 balls and a strike to Juice. (3-1) coming. Down low, he draws a 1-out walk. And now, with Arkadelphia having 2 runners on and a chance for Tucker Johnson to do some damage, that's going to get a visit out of the out of the dugout for Fountain Lake here in the top of the 6th. And doesn't look like it's going to be a change, maybe just a little bit of pep talk. We'll take this few minutes to talk about some of our sponsors we want to thank. But first of all, Matt, I want to thank you and the Arkadelphia Baseball Commission for all you guys do in cooperation with the City of Arkadelphia. Parks and Rec, Junior Rodemeyer and Darren Boyette, those guys, man, they have our playing fields ready to go. A lot of improvements that you guys have done through the Baseball Commission. I really appreciate what y'all do from T-ball all the way up through high school, and that's just fantastic work for you guys.
Well, we got some good grants, a couple years ago to put the cages and stuff up that are utilized by the Ranger Foundation. And I mean, heck, we got Washita High School couldn't play at their field. They were doing a doubleheader today at our park there at Southern Bancorp Field. So good to see it utilized whenever the Badgers are on the road.
Here's a pop-up out into right field, and that's not going to be deep enough to get the run over to third, as Tucker going to fly out to right for the second out. And Zane Hill now going to come up. Zane 0 for 1. Does have a walk back in the second. He struck out looking in the 5th. 2 outs now. Harris at first, Witten at second. Getting their leads. Fouling the first pitch back is Hill for strike 1.
Wish the people at home, Blake, could know how dangerous this ballpark is for foul balls. There was a period of time, especially, you were a big advocate getting our nets fixed there, but my goodness, this place.
Yeah.
Head on a swivel.
Yeah, a lot of ballparks when these wagon wheel type setups where there's a lot of ballparks just back to back and side to side, and especially when there's action going on. It's one thing when they're high schoolers, but when you got little ones playing over there and you got a high school game next door, those balls are hit hard, and parents with their back to the field. And really appreciate the city and Gary Brinkley and all the work that they've done to help make our park safer, if nothing else.
Yeah, no doubt.
2 strikes now to Hill. He hangs on 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 on, 2 out here, top of the 6th. Inside, swing and a miss, and Arkadelphia again leaves 2 stranded for the second time today, and Arkadelphia will get 3 more cracks at it in the top of the 7th. Still 6 more outs to get if they can hang on to this 1-0 lead here, and back out on the mound for number 6, bottom of the 6th, is Trip Campbell. We talked about again what the sponsors do for everything from, making sure that our fields are taken care of, to making sure that we've got signage in our ballpark, our talked about Allison Busher and the work that she does and getting under deadlines every year to get our team pictures out and our collectible senior banners up for all sports, and just can't say enough. Again, Tim Welch donating some time and effort. Sheffield Music has been, anytime we ever need anything with some extra sound projection, they're always there. Just got a good community of folks back in Arkadelphia that love their Badgers and take care of our Badger baseballers. We appreciate them.
Yeah, no doubt. That, I mean, and the support we get from Southwest Auto is unbelievable. I mean, this year finally bringing back a all sports banquet that'll be on May 24th. That Southwest Auto is going to put on. Great to be able to, especially after the COVID, it's really shut down everything, to be able to let these kids dress up and have a night and get rewarded for all the efforts they put in every sport. I mean, it's just about football or basketball, baseball. I mean, we're talking golf and tennis and swimming and all the champions and stuff too. And great that Southwest Auto is stepping up to do that.
Something I've dreamed of for a long time is bringing back that all sports banquet, and glad those folks stepped up and took the reins. Inside goes Tripp to start the bottom of the sixth here. Preston Riley, he's up for only the second time through the batting order. Riley in the 9 spot. Shows you the kind of work that Arkadelphia, especially Tripp Campbell's done. Foul back to the screen now to even the count at a ball and a strike. Riley struck out looking back in the third for his only other time at bat. You talk about getting to see a pitcher in a ball game. No one's seen Tripp Campbell more than twice.
Mm-hmm.
And this is only the second time for Riley, and there's strike 2 for him. And so big part of working efficiently is not walking, not letting players get on. And there's a strike looking, and just another nasty pitch as things get started here the Badgers' way in the bottom of the 6th. So back to the top of the lineup we go, and Abe Rose, the shortstop, has seen Tripp twice and watched him throw 3 pitches by him twice. Ball 1 low and off the plate. We're an hour and 17 minutes in this thing, and we are 5 2/3 through a 7-inning game. 5 1/3 through a 7-inning game. And Tripp Campbell's gone the entire way for the Badgers, living up to his reputation. Congratulations, Tripp, getting an offer to play college baseball this week. Everybody deserves it. He does.
Mm-hmm.
Leading in about every category, offensive, defensive, you could have, and including losing your hat on the mound.
That's true. I think he's first in the state in that.
Ball and 2 strikes now to Rose. 1 down here in the inning. Swing and a miss, gets away from Hill, up with it. The speedy Rose down, but not speedy enough. May have turned his left ankle on the way down. He's hobbling a little bit down the right field line, and quickly 2 outs in the inning, and Caden Hilton hit back to the pitcher in the first inning and was called out looking in the 4th. He's 0 for 2 and didn't really like either one of them. We'll see if he can fix it here in the bottom of the 6th. And he takes ball 1 outside. That one just missing. Ball 2. Another shout out real quick. Arkadelphia Athletic Director Donnie Williams has agreed to let all of our state champions that we're going to recognize Friday night into the ballpark at no cost. So appreciate Coach Williams doing that as athletic director. You're a participant. Get in the game free. Go to this courtesy tent, get you a little bite to eat. Give us your name and sport and or activity and year, and we'll give you a shout out at the Badger baseball game. Tripp walks only the second walk of the game for Campbell, and he doesn't like it. But on 4 pitches, Hilton finally gets to see first base. Hayden Cotton now, the senior catcher, he flew out to right field back in the first. He struck out looking in the fourth. 2 down now in the inning. The senior will see the stretch from Campbell for only the second time in the game. Third time in the game.
Yeah.
Pickoff move over is bobbled a little bit by kind of got in on his heel of his glove there at first, and not far enough away from Tucker for any damage. Fake throw down on that first pitch from Hill, and there he's off and running. Hill going to come up and throw. He's not going to be in time. Ball's going to skirt out into short center. Back there, backing it up alertly is Whitten. And so Hilton into second base with 2 outs now, and the first runner in scoring position and since the second inning. For the Cobras. So we'll see. And the runner at second base is into, not sure what he's doing, but he's not sure if he's trying to cut Tate off, but he is venturing out into short left center field. Not sure, he's way out of the baseline. And he's going to mess around. He's going to get called out. Goodrum seems to be trying to motion to the, he's not in the baseline. He's 3 feet out of the baseline, and not having a full dirt infield, it's hard to tell just how far he is, but Goodrum's out there in short, shallow left center field, and he's right even with him. Ball and 2 strikes now, and if Campbell does what he's supposed to, and he does. There's a strikeout and a throw down to first just in case, and
yeah, I mean, you get that part, and the field umpire looks very, very young. So he's not looking back. He's trying to focus. He's zeroed in on the pitcher for whatever reason. He has no idea the shenanigans going on behind him. But you're right, Blake. I mean, he would go to the bag, take 5 steps backwards, and then try to establish his own baseline back there. But I've said it 4 times today, I think, buddy. We need some insurance runs before we get to the home half of the 7th.
Well, you're exactly right, and part of that is because you've got the 4, 5, 6, you've got the middle of the order, and Evan East, the only batter that's hit an extra base hit, is due up second in the inning for the Cobras. Now Arkadelphia will see the top of the lineup, and that's not a bad place to be if you're a Badger fan either, as Goodrum has singled. He's been hit by a pitch, and he struck out for only the 3rd time of the year.
Yeah.
You probably won't see that again. I hope not, at least. And it's kind of like me hearing Luke Bryan on the radio on the way home 4 times, 3 times, or twice even. I don't even want to think about it. 1, 2, 3 up for Arkadelphia. Goodrum, Babb, Campbell. Campbell has a double. Carter is actually 0 for 1. He reached on E2 in the 5th, and he struck out back in the 1st. He did ground out to the pitcher in the 3rd, his only official at bat.
I mean, we show 5 hits on our side. 3 of them were in front of the pitcher, right?
Yep, you're exactly right. So here we go. This is, I said it before the broadcast, this is where the rubber meets the road, and it has been a whale of a ball game, 1-0. We go to the 7th. This is all we play, folks, unless it's a tie. And here we go. Goodrum fouls the first pitch back. Riley seeing his second inning of work. There's a shot that's going to get into the gap in left center field. It's going to be extra bases. Going in to second base, standing up, or probably could have, but chose not to. And a big fist pump, a double fist pump that is, from the senior captain, the infield captain, and that is Tate Goodrum. And that may just be that insurance run we're looking for. Babb is going to, we'll see what Lowe calls. He's barking out some numbers and letters and colors and whatever all else is on those wristbands, and we'll see if there's a squeeze on, or not, excuse me, but a bunt is on, or we're going to try to get that runner to the 3rd with Campbell.
Yeah, he's playing even with the bag at third base.
There's a strike to start the at-bat. You know, Babb, if there's a better bunter on the team, there's probably not many. Carter, a very established bunter. It's lefty on lefty. That's not playing really to his favor, but we'll see. And he is going to bunt, and that's going to be a perfect bunt. The runner gets to 3rd, and he's going to beat it out at first. Ball goes into right center, goes into right field. It's bobbled again.
Why is he not running?
And Babb does not know that the ball is bouncing around.
Oh, Carter. He took his helmet off in the excitement of the play that he created. The ball goes down to the tarp in the right field corner, and he could have been standing on 3rd. And there's still nobody out. We got 1 run in. Let's add to it here with Trip Campbell.
Well, some excitement, at least on to the right of us. Not sure if Carter would have made it into second, but I got a good idea.
Yeah.
Maybe he would have. Yeah. Chris Babb, I know you're listening. It's not as bad as it sounds. Calm down. It's all right. Carter did his job and did it to perfection, mind you. Just got a little excited. Hey, this is a game to get excited about, though, folks. This is a nip and tuck ball game, and he just nipped it. 3 balls and no strikes to Arkadelphia's leading hitter. I might go out on a limb and say they're a little nervous of Trip Campbell.
And they're a little rattled, too.
He draws a 4-pitch walk, and so based on balls, Campbell 1 for 2 and a walk on the day. JB 0 for 2 with an error. Been on base. He'll get a chance here with nobody out. And lefty, which is right up his alley, coming in to throw. We'll see if JB can get off the. And there's a pop-up bunt out of play, and trying to get those runners over with nobody out. Not a bad idea.
Oh, you got to appreciate the chance to play small ball there, get the runners over. And they just made an error on the same type bunt, so.
If anything, I believe Fountain Lake as well as Arkadelphia may have been just kind of lulled to sleep by the pace of this game. There's a ball that's going to be popped up. Is it going to stay fair or foul? It's going to be right at the bag and on the infield for the first out. So a pop-up by JB is not going to do it. And it'll be the first out of the inning. And so one of the runs back in the first was the result of a base hit by Wynn Pentecost, the runner going from second base to third. Campbell was not running at first, so not a double steal.
No, I think Carter's just figured out that the lefty on the mound, he's not paying him any attention.
And that very well may be the case. And he's got not much of an effort holding on, but there is a big hole there. The shortstop is standing behind, almost behind second base bag, a little to the left, not enough to cover the bag, yet he's really making a vulnerable hole there between short and third. We'll see if there's a runner going in there, and that's going to be safe. Ball is bounced up, and Carter hopefully didn't get a spike.
Yeah, he slid, and he was so much momentum going into the bag, grabbing a hold of it and just hanging on. But you're glad that he's popping up over there after the diving play back last week at our park whenever he jammed his shoulder, diving into first base.
So we'll give Carter a minute to regain everything. Looks like he's okay, just a little awkward going in over there. Does put two runners in scoring position. The strikeout by Pentecost leaves the Badgers with only one out, but Witten singled his last time up. We'll see if he can do it again. There's a fake throw to second base, and we've got the Academy Award goes to the shortstop for he lost his glasses, he lost his hat, he did a dive into center field, and the fake throw. First pitch is ball outside and low to DeWitt. Witten 1 for 3 on the day. Singled his last time up in the sixth. There's a ball that's hit high, and it's going to stay in the park, going over to center field and making the out very nonchalantly. Is the center fielder Hilton, and he's quite the actor himself. Arkadelphia puts one on the board, so 2-0 now. 3 outs to go. We'll see. I bet we'll see Trip Campbell. He's gathering his defensive equipment. The green hat, trading in the white helmet for the green hat. We'll see if the luck of the Irish stays with Arkadelphia. We're going to keep it here. 3 outs to go. Can Arkadelphia separate themselves to a 2 full game, actually 2.5 game lead here in the 4A7? Standing between Arkadelphia and just that is Wesley Campbell, Evan East, and Colt Carden, the 4, 5, and 6 hitters. Campbell has walked and struck out. Evan East has doubled and grounded out to the first baseman. Carden has grounded out and struck out. And so the only 2 of the very few base runners that the Cobras have had are represented with these 3 hitters here in the bottom of the 7th.
Well, set the tone right here with their big dog coming to the plate.
Well, he's part of the reason that it's been such a close game. He pitched 4 innings of very good baseball. We go to the bottom of the 7th, folks. 2-0. It's a nail biter. Bit less of one after the insurance run there in the top of the 7th. Swing and a miss. Here's the pitch. Strike 2, bending in there. You know, this is only the 3rd time that Campbell's seen him Campbell has seen Campbell. Only the third time that Wesley Campbell has been at the plate today. He's gotten the better of Tripp once with a walk, struck out the other time. We'll see who gets the rubber match here. Pitch to Byrne, out low and outside, and Campbell still ahead in the count, 1-2. Inside and close to hitting him. Wesley Campbell going to take a little stroll around the batter's box. Step back in, even, 2-2. Nobody out. Bottom of the 7th, Arkadelphia 2. Fountain Lake, nothing. There is a base hit and almost a throw in from Juice. That got out there pretty quick. He got on it quick and almost, but debated on the throw. Knows he's got a run to give. And East, with the loudest noise so far of the game for Fountain Lake, a double back in the 2nd, is up to bat with a leadoff hit for Campbell. You know, Matt, the surface here, we talked about the grass, or talked about the dirt surface just being around the plate, the mound, and the bases, but the grass itself is they're still hanging on to some ryegrass. The thing about ryegrass is it gets slick.
That's right.
Especially this time of the year. You can tell those runners away from first and trying to get back on those throwbacks from the catcher potentially could be a problem. Ball and a strike now, but that's there's a ball that sails high and a little outside, 2-1. Campbell with his first leadoff base runner of the game. He struck out the first hitter of every inning before this inning. There's a pop-up, going to get out of play to the right side. Through 6 innings, he struck out the first batter of every inning.
Yeah, unbelievable job today.
From the stretch with Wesley Campbell, a leadoff single the bottom of the 7th. Tying run at the plate now for Fountain Lake. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Another K for Campbell. "14 strikeouts on the day. Colt Carden grounded out in the 2nd, struck out in the 5th. Represents the tying run with 1 down, bottom of the 7th, and a runner on. Pop out of play, back off to the right. Garrett White, short of a double play, will bat. He's in the 7th spot. Not fared any better. He flew out back in the 2nd and struck out in the 5th. Kind of sounds familiar, doesn't it?
Sure does. I'll take that double play, though, right here.
Swing and a miss. 2 strikes now. Campbell pitched a whale of a game. 14 strikeouts and 6 1/3 inning of work. Fountain Lake dugout not ready to give up just yet. Still barking over there, trying to get something going. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Well, do you think if young Zane Hill would have thrown that ball to first base,
he would have been out?
He would have been out, most likely.
Yeah.
But if he hadn't been out, I would not have wanted to be young Zane.
Oh, my
At
luck.
least there's
Would have went to the tarp. That would have been my luck.
Yeah. All right, so here we go. Strike 1 to White.
And you don't want to mess up the flow. I mean, Tripp is in the zone right here, Blake.
Yeah, exactly. And he, this young man's learned a lot. And not Tripp, but Zane Hill. He's learned a tremendous amount this year, and very proud of his effort. Strike two. Strike away, folks. And there's a shot out into right field. Going back and playing it is Ryan Harris. He can't get there. It's under his glove. One run is going to, we'll see if that run scored. It does not. And so, not going quite so quietly into the afternoon air are the Cobras. There's a double by Garrett White. And so now the winning run is at the plate in the form of Andrew Bledsoe, the designated hitter. He struck out twice. Swinging in the third, looking in the fifth. Runners at scoring position. Second and third. Interesting. Strike one. Infield. Back, with the exception of Pentecost. He's even with the bag at third. Outfield, playing back. Strike two is the count. Oh, no balls, 2 strikes. Bledsoe, the hitter. Winning run at the plate, tying run at second base. Here's the 0-2. Setting up outside is Hill, and he got it exactly where he set up. Stretching that right leg out there, Tony Pena style. He got it right where he wanted it. We'll see if they come in and attack the hitter this time. Still with a pitch to burn if he wants it. Looking over the glove from the windup. Here's the pitch. Fouled off to the right side. Staying alive is Bledsoe. And he'll see another pitch here. Campbell is the runner. He singled to lead things off. He's at third base. Garrett White with 2 outs, doubled. Swing and a miss, and that is your ball game, ladies and gentlemen. Holy smokes, what a outing. 15 strikeouts for Tripp Campbell. And you know what? We don't always have a player of the game, but I think we got one today, Matt.
Holy it's a no-doubter. I mean, had a double earlier and dominant on the mound. His best outing, I think, in a Badger uniform probably today. Just absolutely did his job from the get-go in an hour and 42-minute ball game. What a win for your Badgers, huh?
Man, you know, I want to get Tripp Campbell up here if we can. I want to get him. We'll let him visit with his teammates there for a minute, and not such a warm trip across the field by the players, at least not from Fountain Lake. They obviously disappointed.
Well, now they need help to try to get back in the conference championship hunt. You know, this was big. Anytime you can come over here to their ballpark, that plays different than a lot of places we go. But anytime you can come over here and leave North Garland County with a win, that's a good thing.
You're exactly right. Coaches meeting at midfield and are around the pitcher's mound there, and they're going to shake hands, and that's a good sign. You like to see that the game end with some sportsmanship. It wasn't always quite so chirpy throughout the game, and
I don't know,
quite so friendly,
yeah.
And not real sure. Hopefully everything's gonna work itself
well,
out.
And it should. I mean, this is about the kids. It's not about the adults at any part of it. And the kids put on the product on the field, and again, it was an excellent showing by the Badgers to come away with a 2-0 victory. here at Fountain Lake.
You know, we play these broadcasts, and yet have we recorded a broadcast where Trip Campbell really stood out, and, you know, his mom and dad, or his mom usually, sometimes his dad's having a hard time getting here from work, and we recorded today's.
Yeah.
And so nice keepsake there for Trip. He deserves it. He's done a great job, and I'm going to get with Coach Evans and have him send Trip to the up here to visit with us. So here's what things are going to look like the rest of the way for the Badgers. And not to say it gets easier, because it certainly does not. They're going to have to play these same Fountain Lake Cobras again on Monday, a week from yesterday. But on Friday, Nashville's coming into town. We know that. We know that Arkadelphia with a strong showing at Nashville earlier in the year, and Nashville's going to come in and have some revenge on their mind on Friday night. Then the Badgers are going to finish things off next week on the road at Hope and at Mena. So long road trip to Mena, and you never know. You know, those are some of the teams that in our conference that are really, you know, at the bottom, but nonetheless, it's you know, you don't have a you never know in 4A baseball, and especially in this conference. There's a lot of tradition in this conference. There's a lot of pride, a lot of rivalry, and you know, teams, especially when you're at the top, they're shooting for you.
That's right. That's right. Softball update before we bring Coach and Trip up here. It was 10-5 in the 6th inning over there at the softball complex. So we'll get
Chris, I need Trip.
Get Trip on his way up here and get to hear from the junior lefty ace here on the Badger staff. But good to see the softball girls with a 5-run lead as they wrap that thing up here in about another half inning.
You know, they start 30 minutes ahead of the Badgers.
That's crazy,
typically, and so Arkadelphia with a you know, just. And Drew's asking, yes. We need Drew in. Drew and Trip. So we'll get Coach and player of the game up here. So once again, I want to thank all of our listeners. You know, we've got some very loyal listeners. Mr. Babb, we're proud that he's able to join us, and we know that he's always there rooting for his Badgers and young Carter. So we really want to wish the Babb family the best. Sorry you couldn't be here, Mr. Babb. We appreciate you listening nonetheless. And then we've also got some other grand folks that may be able to make it from time to time. But when they don't, we like to be able to get them a good broadcast. And today, man, you couldn't ask for a better game. It was just a wonderful pitchers duel. Arkadelphia was able to come away with the shutout win 2-0 here in Fountain Lake and take their Yep. Middle door. All right, so they're about ready to come on up. All right, come on in, Coach Lowe. We're gonna let Trip catch his breath for just a second. I want to talk to you just a minute. It's your 5th year, Coach. 10-0. How's it feel?
Pretty good. Not too bad. I can live with it.
Little chirpiness going on. I'm not going to get into that. I do want to get into the fact that your team held itself together, very composed, I thought. They did what they had to do. They just didn't make mistakes today. Talk about how much you've matured since the first of the year till right now, going into the playoffs here in a week or so.
Man, I can't say much about me, but these kids have just each game and each day they grow. When we don't have it on the field to hit, we play a little defense, and we pitch it pretty well.
A little bit.
So I mean, I'm not a bunter, but my motto is live by the long ball, die by the long ball, bunt when you got to. Well, we had to bunt a little bit today.
Yeah. We did. These guys, they've got a lot of pride. We've got to play them one more time next week. It's a quick turnaround. Not only, do you play a Nashville team that we, really just kind of ran them out of their own ballpark early. They're coming in here heated. Yeah. What are your plans for Friday? You're going to try to – you gonna throw Witten? You made your mind up yet? What you got on for Friday?
Donovan's got to throw. He's got to start. He's got to get a start in just because he hadn't started all year long, which we hadn't need him to. He's done a really good job coming out of the bullpen. But in regionals you got to win 3 games. In states you got to win 3 games. So got to have somebody that can go. So we got a 1-2. Now we just got to find that third guy, and we're gonna let him have it on Friday.
Well, speaking of number 1, we're fixing to talk to him in just a minute. What can you say? The guy comes in, he gets it done. He's leading the team in offensive categories, defensive categories. He had some pretty big news this past week. Yeah, I know how many.
Yeah.
I know how many. We'll talk about it here in just a second. What kind of leader has this guy been? You got great senior leadership. You got 5 seniors on the team. This guy's not even a senior. He's a junior.
Right, and he's a special kid. He can do it on the mound. He can do it in the field. He can do it at the plate. And, that's why he's going to get the opportunity to go to the next level and play baseball.
Well, Friday night is Night of Champions, and hopefully, with the way things are going this way, we're off to a very good start. You guys are. Hopefully, we can add one more and hang it on that field out there at Southern Bancorp Field. Thanks, Coach. Appreciate you.
No problem.
Great job. Let's bring in Trip Campbell, star of the game. Well, Trip, your mom and dad have been wanting us to record a broadcast, and we finally recorded one.
Yeah.
Could there have been a better one?
No, I don't think so.
Did you keep count?
No, I didn't.
15.
15. Holy
15
cow.
strikeouts. Yeah. Okay, good work, man. Last week you got some great news. You got an offer to play college baseball.
Yes, sir.
First of all, how does that feel?
Feels amazing. Man, it's just a blessing from God, I'm just glad that I have the ability to go play baseball at a college in college.
We've been together, and when I say we, a lot of this team has been together for a long time. What does it mean to you to have so many folks, so many players that are on this team that you've played with since you were just little bitty guys with Kool-Aid around your mouth and worried about snacks after the game as much as the game itself? Now you guys have grown into young men that are, planning your college years. What's it mean to play with those guys like Tate and Wynn and some of those guys for so long?
Man, it's awesome, really. They just stuck with it with me. They've helped me a lot as well. Since I'm a little younger than them, I love them as teammates. They're really good. They just can't say much about it.
There was a time when you were the smallest guy on the field.
Yes.
And now you're not. You've not only matured, mentally and as a ball player, but you've matured physically. How's that been an advantage to you? I mean, you're throwing a lot of different pitches. Obviously, being a left-hander, that can be an advantage at this level. How is your football and growing your body, how's that helped you on the baseball field?
It's helped me a lot. Football, like pumping weights, getting me stronger for baseball seasons, helped me out a lot. Football is a mental game. It's helped me out a lot.
So how are you health-wise? You've had some knee trouble. You've had some, shoulder issues and some different nagging injuries. How do you feel? I mean, I know it's a long game. You just pitched, but how do you feel?
I feel great. Arm feels good. Leg feels good.
Got a lot of work to do, man. Our season gets I guess you can say worse before it gets better. You've got coming in later this week, you've got Nashville. You kind of run those guys out of their own ballpark early in the year. You got to see these cats again in less than a week.
Yeah.
You going to be ready to turn it around and get after it?
Oh, yes, sir, for sure.
Man, Trip Campbell, 15 strikeouts today. Great work. Glad you're on our team, buddy.
Thank you.
Hey, we'll see you Friday at the Night of Champions.
I'll
okay.
See you.
Hey, he could be another one of those champions that Arkadelphia sees. You know, he's actually been a baseball champion in the Cal Ripken World Series as state champions from Arkadelphia, Matt.
right.
And some of those guys are on this ball team right now as we speak, and so we'll recognize him, but hopefully we'll recognize him for a different reason at the end of this year. Chances looking pretty good so far.
Man, they're just gelling at the right time. I mean, it like I said earlier, it got started kind of at Nashville, and then it's grown ever since. The players, when they arrive at the ballpark and through the game in the dugout, they're encouraging each other, and it's just hey, the low bus is rocking and rolling right now, so let's keep on it.
Well, I tell you what, and it was a fun one today. I tell you what, it was a fast one. It was a fun one. It was an exciting one. Got a little too close for comfort right there at the end, but what a job by the Arkadelphia Badgers. Trip Campbell, 15 strikeouts in 7 innings. He went the entire distance for Arkadelphia. What a performance put in by him. We want everyone to join us at the ballpark. No broadcast on Friday night. We will be back in the broadcast booth on the road at Hope and at Mena later this week. Otherwise, come on out to Southern Bancorp Field and join us. On behalf of Matt Johnson, I'm Blake Bell. Thanks for joining us from Fountain Lake. 10-0 the Badgers go in 7-4A. So long, everyone. See you next time. Woo! Man. Holy crap.
Yeah, that was great.